Hi, welcome to Katrina Gets Crafty. I'm Katrina. I'm an environmental engineer living in Colorado, and today I wanted to share what I've been up to with my knitting adventures. I've been knitting for several years now, and my friends, family, coworkers are tired of hearing me talk about my knits, so I thought I would start making videos to share what I've been up to, what I've been making, fun yarn, all those kinds of things. So I guess first we'll start off with what I'm wearing. This took me about 6 months to do. I put it down a lot. I started it in the summertime before I moved to Colorado, and after I moved here, I took a really long break from knitting. But this is the Rosalina sweater. I have everything written here, by Lopez. And it is knit in Sewrella classic sock oopsies, and it's actually the Wildest Dreams colorway. Oh, there's my cat. This is Olive, she also lives here. This is the Wildest Dreams colorway, and I really like it. I really like the yarn. I think this is the first, I have a lot of Sewrella yarn, but I think this is like the first big project that I've finished and have been able to wear. And I just really love the lace detailing on this. And then it also has, I don't know if you can see, but it has some shaping in the sweater, which is really nice. The only thing, I do want to eventually add some elastic to the neck, just because I feel like it's kind of stretching out a little bit more than I would like. And then it shows my bra straps, and I don't want that. But I have worn it a lot. It's pretty warm, and yeah, super cute. And next we'll jump into a couple finished objects. These are things that I finished, I think, in the past 2 months. I'm not a very fast knitter, I would just like to say. So we'll see what ends up happening here, but this is the Militi's dress by Vert Knit, also known as Inez Oliveira. Oh, I think I butchered that. I will put all the information down in the description, but I think her design name is Vert Knit. And this is knit in Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color coal. And then these buttons were just kind of a last minute purchase. I got them from, I think, Joann's, so they're not very anything special. Eventually, I feel like I might eventually rip out all of the edging and redo it, just because it is a little tight, so I might go up a needle size. And then if I do that, I'm gonna replace the buttons with something just a little bit nicer. I knit this, it took me about 2 months to knit, and I actually kept track of the amount of hours I put in. I think I ended up spending about 78 hours on this. I kept track of it on my Instagram stories, so I almost every day was posting progress pictures. I did put it down a couple times, but this was pretty much all I knit for 2 months, and it was for a trip to Jamaica. And I did have it done for the trip. I really like the details. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but there's some really pretty details along the waist, and then just some shaping. And it's just a really gorgeous dress. I will try and insert a picture so you guys can see that. And then I actually never finished knitting in these, this yarn over here. So that is my first finished object. It's really comfortable. It's actually reversible. I only wore it this way, but to be a little bit more formal, I feel like this side is a little bit more formal, and it has a higher neckline. Another thing why I would want to redo this edging is because I just feel like the neckline is too high when you wear it this way, and it doesn't, there's no give to it at all. And I know silk will stretch out over time, but this is not stretching out because of how tight this edging is. And also you can kind of see like here it's a little bit tighter. Oh, you can't really see it, I take that back. But it's a little bit tighter at the bottom here, and the buttons kind of sit up a little bit higher than the rest of the dress. And that's just because I probably could have gone up a needle size. I think I knit the edging with a size 2, I want to say. Is either a size 2 or size 3. But I want to say it was a size 2, and I probably should have done it in a size 3. So this is my first finished object. And then my second finished object is the Mender tee by Alicia Plummer. And I absolutely love this tee, and I love this pattern. It's just so cute, and the lace detailing is adorable. I did do very subtle color changes here in the pattern, or yeah, a lot of people do more contrasting colors, but I think the subtle colors kind of, I don't know, it doesn't stand out as much, but it's just like a little detail that you can see. And then I chose the green at the bottom to kind of pull out the green that's in the rest of the sweater. So this is knit with Viking Fiber Company yarn in the colorway Canon A, which was actually one of his trial colors, I want to say, for Canon Beach that he did in one of his collections. And I really loved the yarn. I did pair it with a silk mohair, the Lana Gatto silk mohair in the color Icicle, and I had a hard time finding mohair to hold with this. I really did not want to hold it with mohair because I think the yarn is so beautiful as it is, and I didn't want to kind of dim it or anything, but I think it did come out really nicely. And the color Icicle is kind of a blue hue to it, so it's not like, it complements it well, and it brightens it up. It doesn't really subdue it too much. And I really love the this raglan stitch here, how it's a little bit thicker. I absolutely love raglans. This is a raglan, this is a raglan. Another sweater that I'm working on, you'll see, is a raglan as well. The other colors are, I believe this color is Sage, and it is Knerd string, that's the brand. And then this light gray color, I think was just a number or something. I didn't save the paper that it was on. And then I also did the 2 colors, which, because there's not a high contrast, you can't really tell, but for the I-cord edging, I did switch between the gray and the green on the I-cord edging. And then I chose not to do the I-cord edging along the inside, and that's how the pattern pictures were. And I thought it looked really good, and I didn't want to, I don't know, take the time to do it partly. And then I was also worried that it might make it too like tight. But I really love this. It's perfect for spring. The colors are springy, and yeah, it's really comfortable. I've worn it to work a bunch already. Yeah, I thought a little bit about this lace, I think is kind of funny. So when I saw this pattern, I absolutely loved the lace at the bottom. Like, that's so pretty, that's such a great idea. Like, you could add this on, like if you run out of yarn, this would be perfect to just add on to any, you can add it to any pattern. So I was really excited to do this lace because I said, oh, like, it's gonna be a great way to kind of finish off sweaters, t-shirts, things like that if I run out of yarn. And so when I started it, I was like, who would ever do this? This is the worst thing. Starting it was awful because you have a needle going this way, and then you have a needle going this way, and there's not, like, you're starting it, so you're starting to connect it, so everything's twisting, it doesn't look good, it's not tight. It wasn't until probably I got to like the second little scallop, lace scallop, that I started actually enjoying it, and I actually ended up really loving knitting the lace at the bottom. It was really fun. I did make one change to the lace pattern. I took out a knit stitch in between this lace here and this pattern down here. So that way it shortened it, because I had seen a bunch of pictures on Ravelry and it looked like it was slightly too long. So instead of casting on 16 stitches, I cast on 15. And I think it came out pretty well. I really like the length of it. And I will also insert a picture of me wearing this because I have one. So that is it for finished objects, but I have a kind of finished object and kind of not finished object, because I'm finished knitting with it, but it's not actually finished because I'm gonna frog it. And that would be this really beautiful sweater here. I actually started knitting this when I was in Jamaica, so it still smells like sunscreen and the beach, which I kind of love. But here, I'll show it up close. Hopefully you can kind of see the colors, maybe. So this sweater is called Flores by Ari Shimizu. And the yarn is Terrapin fibers in the colorway Garlic on Potomac fingering. And I want to say that the yardage for Potomac fingering is about 380 yards per 100 grams. And that means that it's not really, it's more of a sport weight than a fingering weight. And this pattern called for a fingering weight yarn. Now I did get gauge, but when I tried this on, and I blocked it actually because I was worried. I was like, I don't want to knit a whole other sleeve if it doesn't fit right. So I did block this, and it's not like airy enough, you know? It's just a little bit too heavy and a little too tight, especially in the sleeve. It like kind of just hugs my sleeve my arm the whole way down, whereas in the pattern pictures it didn't do that, and it looked more like airy and breezy, and that's just not what I got when I knit this up. Which is really sad because I really like the texture and I love the detail down here with the like 2x2 twisted rib is really pretty. So I'm so sad it doesn't look good on, and I will also insert a picture of me wearing this because I want proof of all this hard work. I mean, I worked on this it's probably like a month worth of knitting or so. And I really love the color. So I'm thinking that I might try and make a tank top with this yarn. I have some ideas, so I haven't decided exactly what to do with it. So I'm not in any rush. Sorry, my cat is, there we go. She was trying to play with my finished objects that I'm not frogging. I do not want her ripping those. So yeah, I haven't decided exactly what to do with this yarn, and so I'm not in any rush to frog it. I think once I do frog it, I'm still not gonna knit with it right away. So yeah, it makes me feel better when it's kind of, you know, all still together and not in just like messed up little balls of yarn. But here, I'll give you another little look at the yarn. You can see the colors. It's really pretty. It's got like orange, pinks, really light purple, like lilac-y color. And I really liked it. It was part of her farmer's market. I think actually she's still selling the farmer's market as a made to order. So if you wanted the garlic colorway, and then she's got a bunch of other really beautiful ones. And she does plant fibers. So if you want to try out some hand-dyed plant fiber yarn, you got cotton, this one is linen cotton. The Potomac fingering is linen cotton. And then she also has know she definitely has cotton, and then she has other blends and stuff. But her yarn, it looks really beautiful. So there's that. Oh, I also did not like the I-cord edging, how it lands. It like, I think I should have gone down a needle size for this one because I feel like it makes it flare out a little bit too, so. But that's okay because I'm frogging it, so it doesn't matter. Next is what I'm working on. So I've decided I'm gonna try and do more gift knits this year. I don't know how many I'm gonna do because I'm, as I said, not a very fast knitter, and this is probably the largest gift knit I'm gonna make, and it is a cardigan for my grandmother, but it is taking me a really long time. So this is the Whitmore cardigan by Amy Loudon, and I know a lot of people are knitting this, and they seem to really like it. So I thought I would try, and I thought my grandmother would like it. She's always cold. Here's what I have. Oh, I just split for sleeves. She is always cold, and I wanted her to have like a nice little basic. I did choose yarn that is machine washable. It's not really supposed to go in the dryer, but I think if she did put it in the dryer, I don't think it would ruin it. But she is older, so I know she's not going to hand wash and block her gift knits that I give her. So I wanted to give her something that if she did throw it in the washer and dryer, like it wouldn't completely ruin. This yarn is the Berroco Vintage in the colorway 5106. It is acrylic, wool, and nylon blend, and it is, yeah, it says it's machine washable, machine wash inside out in cold water, gentle cycle, lay flat to dry. So I'm hoping she'll lay flat to dry. We'll see. But what was I gonna say? I forget. Oh, since it's a cardigan, you wear it over stuff, so you don't always wash it like every time you wear it. So I'm hoping she won't wash it all that often, so it won't be a huge issue. But I really do love the lace. If you haven't noticed, I don't mind doing lace. I think the product is so pretty that it's worth it. I am kind of over it after doing this cardigan, so I'm going to try and avoid lace patterns for a while. But luckily I am through the lace top, and I believe it's just gonna be, you know, knits and pearls because it's a cardigan. This is my first time knitting the button band as I knit. It's actually my first cardigan too. The first time I knit on the button band was for the Milady's dress, and yeah, so you can see how pretty it looks. Obviously this is not blocked, so it looks a little scrunched up. And then I'm actually knitting the button band on 3.25 millimeter needles, so that's a US size 3. And I think the pattern calls for US size 2, so that's probably 3 millimeter needles, I believe. And I don't know, I felt going that small was like, it was too small. I'm like, I want it to be a little bit bigger and heftier. And it wasn't that much bigger, so I decided to go for the US 3. And what else about this? Oh, I definitely messed up the buttonholes. First, I forgot to add the buttonholes, and then I had to, then I added it to the wrong side. So when I went to add the second buttonhole, I realized it was on the wrong side, and I wanted it to be, you know, easily buttoned up so that, you know, since it's for my grandmother. If it was for me, I probably would have left it reversed, but for my grandmother, I wanted it to be easy and like something she's familiar with, because trying to button the opposite way is difficult. So I had to go back and take out the buttonhole that I had already made, and then I had to add it back on the other side and then add the new buttonhole. And then I realized I am not really actually working a 3-row buttonhole. I'm only working a 2-row buttonhole, because you're supposed to, I didn't realize when it said purl into the buttonhole stitch, I just thought it meant like, okay, you just like knit or like purl the buttonhole stitch like you would a normal stitch, but you're actually supposed to go into the buttonhole, purl it, and continue knitting. I did not do that, so I think the buttons will still be fine if they just don't look as open as they could. So like they kind of, but I like that they blend in. So as long as I get buttons that fit easily into the buttonholes, it's not going to be an issue. And then I noticed, I think at the 4th button, that I had done it wrong, but I didn't want to change it because I don't want to change how the cardigan looks. So my goal was to have this cardigan done by the end of this month. As you can see, that didn't happen. Today's May 18th, 19th, something like that. And I'm going to Florida this upcoming week on the 24th. So that would not have, yeah, so that's definitely not enough time. And then I'll be there for about a week. So yeah, I'm not gonna finish this in a week. It's not gonna happen. I've been busy studying for my professional engineering exam, which is how you get licensed as an engineer. That's just how they do it. You have to have 4 years experience, and then you can go and sit for this exam, and then you apply for your license after you pass it. So I've been studying for that, and that's taken up a lot of my time, a lot of my knitting time. And since this had like lace that I had to kind of keep track of because there's increases in here, I didn't knit on this that much because I had to actually think about it. I wanted something that I didn't have to think about, which was the other sweater that I've been knitting that I'm not able to finish. So yeah, that is little cardigan. It looks so cute though, and I did kind of try it on, but when I did, I slipped off some stitches, so I'm not going to try it on for you now, but it is super duper cute, and I'm excited to see how it looks. I'll probably just give this the next time I see her, the next time I go visit home, which will probably be, it might be Thanksgiving, so I'll definitely have it done by Thanksgiving. Here's the little ball. I actually bought one of those, they're called the Swift, the yarn Swift, because I already had a winder, but I live by myself, and you know how hard it is to hold yarn? Like, I would be putting it on my chair, I would just have it on my floor and kind of like unwind it. And I got over that, and I actually found one on Amazon for like, I think it was like $20-25. I thought they were $50, so I was very surprised to see something that was a little bit more affordable. So I've been having a lot of fun winding up yarn, and I did wind up this myself. So next I will talk about what I'm about to cast on, because as I go to Florida, I have, you know, a lot of plane travel. We're gonna go to the beach because it's Memorial Day weekend. So I wanted a knit. I'll have the cardigan, but I wanted another knit for myself. It's not really fun to just only knit for other people. You know, you kind of want something to knit for yourself. And because it's summer, I wanted some more summer knits. So this is kind of what I'm gonna be casting on, but it's also a new acquisition, I suppose. And it's this yarn. I've already wound up both balls. See it? Oh my god, it's so pretty. I absolutely love it. This is the what is it? Nylon sock Sewrella yarn in the colorway Peoplemover. And this was part of their Disneyland collection, but I like to call it their Disney collection because I grew up in Florida and I'm a Disney World fan. So they do have the Peoplemover at Disney World in Magic Kingdom, and it is one of my favorite rides. And she reformed, this is the second time she's done this collection, and she reformulated the colorway, and oh my god, I fell in love. Like, it is so pretty. Hold on, I have been swatching it because I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna make with it. My first plan was to make the ripple crop top. You can see how it looks in the swatch. So this is my swatch for it, but I was just not getting gauge. Like if you can see, I mean, that's not a 4x4 square. But isn't that color just gorgeous? So the pattern calls for US 4 needle, and I did the 24 stitches by 22 rows and 3x3 ribbing, and my gauge was, or like my swatch ended up being 4 inches wide. So like I was hitting it with the stitches, but my rows, it was, I want to say it was like maybe 3 inches tall. So I was shy a whole inch of hitting that 4x4 square. So then yesterday I just knit this in the US 5 needle to see if I could get closer. And I did get a little bit closer to hitting gauge, but still not great. And then I also noticed that when you're knitting, and so if you're knitting anything more than a 1x1, like a 2x2, 3x3, you kind of get, I don't know if you can see, but you kind of get these like stitches. Oh, it's on the side, I think. These stitches here. This one definitely, okay, you can see it on both sides. Right here, if you can kind of see that, hopefully it's in focus. These stitches here that are a little bit bigger than the other stitches. And I watched a whole video on why this is, and you can fix it, but it doesn't make it a mindless knit when you're fixing it, because it involves wrapping the yarn a separate way, and then you don't have a reversible fabric, which is not a big deal. Like, I would just wear it one way, that's okay. But because I also wasn't getting gauge, and then I was noticing that there's like this gap in one of my rows, I've decided I'm not going to do this pattern. And I'm still gonna do so that was a Jessie made design. And yeah, the ripple crop top. But instead of doing that one, I'm going to make oh shoot, which one is it? I think it's the outline tee. No, it's the other one. I will list it somewhere, which one I'm gonna make, or you'll see next time. And I have two balls of this, so that is, each one is 400 yards, that's 800 yards, definitely enough to make a t-shirt. So that is my plan, and I'm super duper excited. And then yeah, this was one of my recent acquisitions. This is actually my most recent. I just got it last week? No, a couple weeks ago? I don't know. I'm very excited to use this. And then my last acquisition, so that's my plan. I think that'll be easy to take to Florida with me, a little t-shirt, it'll be great. The next thing I'm gonna cast on is a Ingrid tank, is that what it's called? And I'm gonna be using different colors for that, for like, it has kind of like striping and eyelets. So I'm gonna use different colors for each eyelet stripe. And I thought it would be best to not take that with me to Florida because it involves multiple colors and that's kind of hard to like carry around. But that is, I will also be casting that on hopefully this summer. Those are like the 2 summer projects for sure I want to get done. And then another recent acquisition is this beautiful yarn by Pasley Knits. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. And it's in the Artemis colorway on her cloud base, which is 70% baby alpaca, 7% merino wool, and 23% nylon. And it's a blown yarn, and you get 284 yards per 100 grams. But these colors are so pretty. I already wound one of these skeins up. I bought 4. And I already wound one up and did a little swatch. I think I'm going to make a hybrid of the Wednesday sweater by Petite Knit and the Yoon sweater. Oh, which I cannot remember who did that. I'll also have that below. But because I like raglans, and I don't think drop shoulders look that great on me, and that's what the Wednesday sweater is. So I think I'm gonna kind of do the top of the Yoon sweater that's like, it's a raglan at top, and then finish it off, like all the finishes will be that of the Wednesday sweater. And I wanna say their gauge is only like a stitch different, so I think I can kind of like fudge it and combine the two. But as much as I wanted to cast this on right away, we are in May, it's almost June, it's almost the start of summer. I would not be wearing this until like probably for at least another 6 months. So that's why I decided to go the summer route with my knits, the next knit that I'm gonna cast on. And I will probably cast this on maybe the end of summer, beginning of fall, once, you know, the weather starts changing and I'm like, oh shoot, or hopefully before the weather starts changing so I can knit this up and then have it for the weather change. So I will definitely be getting into this year. Well, that is all I had for you for today. I could probably go on and on about even more in depth about what I knit, what I'm planning on knitting, but I won't make this video too long. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you're going to be knitting this upcoming summer, if you're excited for any patterns or if you just cast something off, and I'll chat with you in the comments.